What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. We are nearing a year of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, and I'm so excited to share that anniversary with you guys on September 8th. We have some fun stuff coming up for the next year of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, but wanted to give you guys a little bit of a life update because I haven't done that in quite some time on the podcast. So I'm still here in the UK. As soon as I got to the UK, I felt so much peace inside of my body. And if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you may have seen one of the reels that I created about this, but when I was back in the US, I was going through a few challenging months, and those challenging months really put me into a state of control and trying to control and force different outcomes in my life. And I almost actually ended up canceling this trip to the UK because it just felt so overwhelming with everything that was going on in my life. But my intuition kept pulling me here for a reason. And I so clearly feel that inside of my body now that I'm here. Like I said, I got over here and just felt so much peace and have been really able to surrender to the universe and to my intuition and to what my inner guidance system has been calling me towards. And a few weeks into being over here, it was like less than a week, honestly, into being over here, I really knew that I wanted to stay here longer than my original planned 5 weeks. And so I've actually made the crazy and fun decision to cancel my flight back to the US. And I have rented a place in London, and I'm going to be moving into a place in London starting September 1st, and I have it booked through the end of 2022. And then we'll see at that point where my intuition is guiding and leading me to, if it's back to New York, if it's staying over here, wherever it is. Just fully open, and like I said, in this season of surrender and trusting my intuition is guiding me towards the things that are going to support my highest good and also allow me to manifest all of my desires into my life and truly continue to build on top of the dream life that I've created for myself, so that it only gets better and better and better from this point moving forward. So excited to share that with all of you. I think that's the first time that I've officially announced this on the podcast, that I am not moving back to the US in a few weeks here. I am actually going to be staying over here in the UK and continuing my journeys over here. I'm really excited to travel Europe and do all of those things as well. So that is the life update. And with all of that, what we're going to be talking about on the podcast today, if you didn't see the title, is creating space to call in and manifest more abundance into your life. And I feel as though that actually sits so perfectly with this season that I've been in, is that releasing that control actually created so much space for me to manifest greater things into my life than what I was attached to originally. But when it comes to creating more space in our lives to manifest more abundance, this is such a common misconception in the world of manifestation because there is hardly anything that talks about it. There's just this belief that you can keep stacking shit on more and more and more and more and more and more without creating any space to actually receive the things that you desire in your life. And when I say that, what I mean by creating space is that this is mostly mentally, emotionally, and energetically. It definitely can also take place in your physical environment. But for example, majority of people, especially listening to this podcast, are wanting to manifest more money into their lives, but are holding on to past mental and emotional and energetic experiences or blockages or manifestations that are actually holding them back from receiving the next level of what they're calling into their lives. So an example of this can be like, if you are in the position that you're wanting to manifest a successful business and you've been putting in all of the work to do the groundworks of your business, get the clientele, whatever it is, but you're still holding on to your past job, or you're holding on to past money-making opportunities because you don't fully trust in the fact that your business is going to take off, or you want that safety blanket there so that you can feel safe and secure in the fact that you are creating a business and wanting it to get to the place that you want it to be before taking that leap of faith and stepping fully into the position of really just going all in on the business. Then that can be an example of you not having enough space mentally, emotionally, and energetically inside of yourself that is going to hold you back from actually having the success that you want in business, because there's no space inside of you to call in more. All of us have a energetic capacity that we have. We all have essentially, like, if we viewed ourselves as like a cup, it's like that cup only has a certain amount of space inside of it that you could pour water into. It's like when you have all of these past things that are filling up the cup. So it's like your old water from the night before, some Sprite, some coffee, some all of this stuff trapped in one glass. It's like probably not going to be a super tasty drink. And there's also not going to be more room in that glass for you to pour your favorite drink into. And that's essentially like what's happening when you haven't created space for you to receive your manifestations. Is like it's going to overflow and it's not going to be able to be held in your life in the way that is going to be supportive to you. And oftentimes the universe will do this for us, is create very chaotic situations or create some sort of upheaval before a big manifestation in your life to get you to empty that glass out so that there is actually space for you to receive your manifestations. But we don't have to wait for the universe to create the chaos or for the upheaval to come up in order for us to start to receive the abundance that we desire in our lives. We can actually be responsible for clearing out this space so that you can just naturally start to receive more of that abundance without all of the chaos and without all of the things happening. So another example of this can be like when you are wanting to manifest new, beautiful friendships and relationships into your life, but you're holding on to old relationships and people that don't necessarily serve you anymore. There's not enough energetic space inside of you for you to receive more people in your life. Same with as you are evolving and becoming the highest and greatest version of yourself, you may not be manifesting the things that are in alignment with that higher and greater version of yourself if you're still holding on to old identities. So like an example of that is a lot of the times what I'll see with the women that I'm working with is that they're doing this work to become the highest and greatest versions of themselves, but they still identify with different pieces of the past, like being a people pleaser, or being a worrier, or being the girl who's quote unquote not good with her money, or any of those old identities. And what that essentially does is it energetically fills you up. Those old identities, because they are the things that you held on to for so long, those are going to be the things that take precedent because your subconscious mind already knows them. They feel safe. So therefore, it's going to latch on to those old identities and take up that space inside of you. Whereas the new identity is still something that you're working on building and creating, and it doesn't take up as much space. And so therefore, those old behaviors will dictate your vibration. They will dictate the way that you're attracting and manifesting things into your life. But when you can let go of those old behaviors and those old identities, then it actually creates the space inside of you so that that new, more evolved, higher, greater version of yourself can become the new dominant identity and the new dominant pattern in your life, which then will shift your set point of attraction to naturally help you attract and manifest more of that abundance into your life. And this is why doing the inner work is so important, because it will allow you to clear out the different mental, emotional, and energetic blockages, as well as help you see and identify what physical blockages that have been taking up space in your life and that you've been holding onto, because those are the things that are going to hold you back from manifesting all of the things that you truly desire into your life. So like an example of this in my life is when I was stepping into and becoming the version of myself that was a successful online coach, I had to release the different mental, emotional, and energetic blockages and stories and identities that I had tied to my past when it came to being someone who worked in the food and beverage industry. So going from the position where I was someone who so fully identified with the server bartender life, the partying that can happen, oftentimes does happen in the world of serving and bartending, and just the way that I perceived myself in that role had to be completely shifted in order for me to step into the identity of the coach, of the person who had a successful online business, as the guide, as the mentor who could help facilitate transformation inside of other people. And so what I got clear on was what were the stories that I was still telling myself and about my life that were taking up space of the past, of that old identity that I had been in. And one of the biggest ones for me was the limiting belief in the story that I wasn't educated enough to be a coach or to do anything other than work in the food and beverage industry. Because if you haven't listened to the podcast, I was a college dropout, and because I never got a degree, I had such debilitating limiting beliefs about myself and what was possible for me in my life, because I truly grew up with this script of the fact that if you wanted to do anything, you had to get a college degree. And that was something that took up a lot of space inside of me and inside of my energetic body that held me back in old patterns from the past. And when I did the inner work to clear out that limiting belief and the different behaviors that had manifested from holding on to that belief for such a long time, it actually created the energetic and emotional and mental space inside of myself for me to then step into a greater version of self that so fully could believe in the fact that, yes, I can be a successful online coach, that I was going to be making at least $10,000 a month, that I could absolutely and would facilitate massive transformation for other people. And because I created that space, that's exactly what manifested into my life. And another example of this could be like if you're wanting to manifest more money into your life, because I can imagine if you're listening to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, you probably want to manifest more money into your life because it's one of the most major things that I talk about. But if you're in that situation and you have been journaling, you've been scripting, you've been focusing on your vibration, you've been saying your affirmations, you've been shifting your relationship with money, you've been doing all of the quote unquote things that are supposed to help you manifest more money into your life, and you're still not manifesting that money, it's probably because you do not have enough energetic space inside of yourself to receive more. And what has to happen is you have to recognize what are the things that you're holding onto from the past? What are the stories about money that you're holding onto? What are the memories that you have around money that have created this disconnect between you and wealth? What are the emotions that you're holding onto surrounding money that don't support you and your highest good? What are the actions? What are the behaviors? What are the financial habits that you have that are holding you in the patterns of the past and holding you in a space that doesn't welcome in much abundance? And once you can get clear on those things and start to shift it and start to sort through it and eliminate it by doing the inner work, then you're going to create more energetic space inside of yourself to call in that abundance and finally actually be able to receive it in a way that is going to be supportive to you. So I know I've said that multiple times throughout this podcast episode, but I really want to hit that home is like, you cannot receive more in your life if you're not creating the space. And this is something that, like, once again, the world just doesn't teach us, because majority of the things that we are taught are to keep us in familiar patterns of the past so that you can play out a predictable future. And it's like, if you're here listening to the podcast, I can imagine you don't want that familiar past and you don't want the familiar future. Like, you want to be able to step so fully into a state of abundance. And the reason that most people don't is because they're not willing to do the work to clear out all of this shit from the past so that they can fully step into this position of power inside of themselves and inside of their finances by removing those different mental, emotional, and energetic blockages. So what I want you to do to start to get super clear on what is taking up space in your life is to, when you have time and space to do this, to slow down, close your eyes, connect with yourself, take some deep, full breaths, and really center yourself into your body. Get out of your head and into your body by paying attention to your physical senses. And when you're in that state, I want you to ask yourself, what is taking up unnecessary space in my life? And listen to the answer and honor and be honest with the response that comes up, with the answer that comes up. Because if you can be honest with yourself and if you can honor what your inner guidance system and what your inner knowing is telling you, then it will give you this starting point to start to clear out this shit that is holding you back and keeping you in the position of not enough space for you to have your manifestations. Because the reality is, and this is something that I've definitely faced in my manifestation journey and continue to face in my manifestation journey, is the fact that, like, we have to release what's good to have great. We have to release what's great to have amazing. And we have to release what's amazing to have fantastic. Fantastic to have incredible. Incredible to have mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to have out of this fucking world. And that is what this process truly is like grieving and letting go of those things of the past to truly know that you will have something greater. You either get what you want or something greater always. And when you are brave enough to, like I've been saying, do the work to clear out these different mental, emotional, and energetic blockages, dive into the inner work, release these different things, and even physically clear space in your life, then you are going to energetically open yourself up to receiving the things that you've been wanting to call into your life. So that is what I have for you on today's podcast episode. If you need help doing this, this is something, at least in my experience, that I found really challenging to try and figure out on my own, because we can't see inside of ourselves what we can't see, and we cannot change what we do not recognize. But being able to work with a coach, work with somebody who can see your blind spots and help illuminate them to you actually helps you create this space so much quicker so that you are able to attract and manifest the things that you desire into your life with so much more speed and so much more power. So if this is something that you're needing help with, I highly encourage you to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy. The link to the Abundant AF Babe Academy is down below in the show notes. I only have a few spots available at the moment, and these spots always go so quickly because the Abundant AF Babe Academy will not only help you create this space inside of yourself, but also help you truly create the clarity around what is it that you're wanting to attract and manifest into your life, and become the vibrational match and the magnet to actually attract in and manifest the money, the freedom, the fulfillment, the abundance that you desire in your life from a long-lasting, sustainable standpoint, as opposed to a lot of the different manifestation methods out there that are very much so like crash and burn, work once, don't work again, all of those different things. So if you are actually wanting to manifest the abundance, the money, the things that you desire into your life, you're done fucking around, you're done looking for free resources on the internet and not getting what you want or need from them, the Abundant AF Babe Academy is so for you. So like I said, hit the link down below to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy. I'd love to hop on a call with you and see if this is a good fit for you. But with all of that being said, I am sending you all of my love, and I will chat with y'all on the next podcast episode. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.